In this lesson, we'll cover piped systems. So before you start to actually build your layout of different pipes and components of your pipes, whether that be fitting or accessories, you need to define a pipe system. The pipe system is technically the glue that holds everything together. It's also needed for analysis. Basically, it'll analyze everything in that system or what belongs to that system. So to create a system, I need to first create at least one piece of equipment or a mechanical element. That way I can start to build that mechanical system, in this case the piping system. I can add everything to it at first, or I can add things to it as I go. So on my screen, I've actually added two more additional mechanical elements. If I mouse over each one, you'll see the mechanical equipment element on the left has been added and the one on the right has been added. Currently, they don't belong to a system. They're just floating. And I'm going to use those two as an example to add a new system. To bring up the system browser, go to the View tab on your ribbon, then all the way to the right, the User Interface, and checkmark System Browser. This will turn on the System Browser. On the System Browser, Verify View is set to Systems, and set the secondary category for discipline to Piping. This will list all piping systems and anything not assigned to a piping system. So currently right now I see I have 8 piping systems. The one we're going to add is going to be an additional hydronic supply system. So it's going to be listed under the hydronic supply that I have highlighted on my screen. So to do this, all we have to do is simply highlight the components, or in this case the mechanical equipment that we want to add to this new system. So I'm going to window these in. I'm just going to drag a window from left to right around the 2 yellow elements that currently do not belong to any system. Now, if you accidentally grab more than what you want, you can use the filter button to filter out all the elements that you don't want. Or just simply hold the Control key and select both of these pieces of mechanical equipment. Now, once you do this, and if these do not belong to a system, on the ribbon to the very right, you'll have a Systems panel. This will ask you, what type of system do you want to create? Given these pieces of mechanical equipment can have all 3 systems, duct, power, and piping, I have the choice to create one of all 3, or all 3. In this instance here, I'm just going to choose piping. What will happen next is Revit is going to ask us, well, what type of system do you want to add? In this case, I'm going to add a hydronic supply system. And as you can see, you could choose different ones if you want to. I'm going to name the system just so it stands out, Hydronic Supply 100. Now, I can open this in the system browser right now if I want to in the editor to add additional things to it, but I'm not going to. I'll show you how to actually do that in a separate step. So with these set, just click OK. It's going to ask me now, based on the connectors on each of these units, which one do you want to use? Well, I'm going to use connector 1 on the hydronic supply, round 20 millimeter pipe. Click OK. And I'm going to use the same one on the other unit. Click OK. What that will do is add these 2 elements, in this case, these 2 pieces of mechanical equipment, to the Hydronic Supply 100 system. And I see this now in my system browser on the right. And I can expand it, and you'll actually see both of those elements that were added to the system browser. Now, if you wanted to add additional elements to the actual system, this is where you can edit the system. So if I click on the Hydronic Supply 100 system, on the ribbon in System Tools, I could choose Edit System. Doing so will bring up a new ribbon, allowing me to add new elements to this system. Currently, I don't have any additional ones to add, but if I were to add additional mechanical equipment, I could add them to this existing system. Just cancel in this example. So as a review, in this lesson, what we looked at is how to create piping systems. We talked about the importance of a piping system as it's the glue that holds everything together within that system. We talked about creating first a component or a mechanical element, at least one or a few, that we can use to add to that piping system. Once those are added to the system, we can add additional ones by editing the system. And we also looked at the system in the system browser.